Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and this is your tip of the week. This is a lady's blouse pattern that I bought last year sometime, and it's a Simplicity. The pattern number is S8920. And I liked it because it offered 4 different styles of doing this blouse. And it's mostly in the sleeves that it's a little different, it varies. On this one, it's just a straight sleeve, but there's a fold. You fold the bottom of the sleeve up. On this one, there's a ruffle on the outside edge of the sleeve. And on this one, it has a tie down here, a slit, a long slit with a tie. And then this one down here, it's gathered at the bottom, but the way some of the steps that's in this one and this one are very similar to each other. On the sleeve, it doesn't have the tie on it, it's ruffled at the bottom. There's a tiny little cuff that you make, it's not very wide. And then it has you gather the bottom of the sleeve and then you stitch the cuff down over it. If you go over here, you'll see that here's the little slit on the side. Here's where you're going to close the cuff. I'm going to focus on how they do this up here. I'm going to recommend a certain way of stitches you should do here to protect the raw edges, and then how to fold it and get it prepared to finish off the bottom edge. So up here at the top, this is where the sleeve that comes out right over the top and over the shoulder of the blouse. Then you stitch on this extension piece to the sleeve, and here are the ties. This is the upper arm portion of the sleeve, and this is the lower arm portion of the sleeve. This has the ties attached to it, and there's a seam here which you stitch them on. So you would stitch these 2 pieces together and then stitch this seam, and you're doing a 5/8 inch wide seam. Now in the pattern, they have you do 2 lines of straight stitching. They're about I guess a 1/4 of an inch or an eighth of an inch apart. I don't like doing that because they will unravel if you're using fabric that unravels easily. So I recommend you go ahead and do your 5/8 inch seam and then do an overcast stitch. I used a serger. And if you want to get into sewing a lot of clothing, I highly recommend you get a serger. You don't need a fancy one, a real high-end one, just one that does the basic stitch. And your garments will turn out so professionally looking. So again, serge this edge. On the shoulder seam, and this is the section that also has the ties on it, this is all one section. Because I'm going to need to have this open down here eventually, I serged each one of these separately. It's going to make it a lot easier. So each edge has already got the raw edges covered. Then I did the 5/8 inch seam down to about here. That's because this is eventually, from this point on, is going to be folded under like that. And then you will stitch along this folded edge right here. Now this fold goes all the way around on all of your pieces. You fold it over twice all the way down to the end. Then you go to the end, fold it over twice, and it's always press with your iron and stitch. Then you go along the bottom, and this is opened up. You continue on down this edge along here, then go to this edge, and then you come up to this edge. And so this one will be folded under right here also. So both are folded under. Here is my alternative method of doing this. Because when you're done, this finished edge here that's all turned under a bunch of times, it'll be flopping around when it's tied, and it's going to show. I don't like that. I don't want that underside to show. So I want the underside to look just like the top side. So what I recommend is you cut another piece that goes all the way up to here, and you bring it front sides down onto it. Fold this edge over twice and stitch it down. Then pin and stitch all the way around this edge. Then trim a little bit of the corners off, turn it front side out, and this under edge, when that tie is flopping around as you're using it, it will look just like the front side. Well, I hope this sewing tip of the week was helpful to you. If you want to learn how to make clothing, you need to watch as many clothing tutorials as you can and start working with some very basic things. A very basic top, sleeveless, where you don't have to worry about sleeves. I'll also have a playlist listed below of my clothing tutorials, so you can try making some of those clothing pieces. The more you do it, the easier it's going to get. Also, don't buy expensive fabric when you're just getting started. Go to the sale table, buy the cheapest fabric possible to practice with. You don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Keep it simple for yourself. Don't take on too much. Now, when you're scrolling down there to look for those playlists, I will also have links to other beginner sewing projects. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.